I don't know if this is problematic, so sorry if it was. On TikTok, when they're doing the trend of like chicken wars, this is also why I'd make a bad cult leader. You'd be like, what should I do? I go, I don't know. Whatever you want, I guess. You know what this is? This very much gives me and reminds me, my friends out there who've watched Twilight. I don't know if you remember, if anybody remembers this, because it felt like it was just like a week in time. But at some point in time, there was like this girl on TikTok who was trying to start a cult, and she was like day one of starting a cult. And I saw some people like chatting about it and be like, isn't that weird? And the answer is yes, it is very weird. Apparently, it got too weird, and now the FBI are involved. And I was watching Loey Lane, as I do, and she had mentioned that this girl, Allie, had made a video about it. I just seem very uncomfortable today. And I want to like watch this video and learn with everybody what the deal is, what's going on, because everything seems so bizarre to me. So yeah, as I said, Allie made this video, and we're going to, Allie Tricaso, and I will put the link for this down in the description, made this video about this cult. So let's see what is to be said.
Don't you want to become a cult leader?
I'm starting a cult, and you guys are all going to be a part of it.
I know, pausing already. I think that's an interesting question. Do you want to be a cult leader? Would I want to be a cult leader? No. Besides the moral behind it, the moral reasons behind it, no, in the way that like I never think that I'm usually the smartest person in the room, and I feel like to be a cult leader you have to think you're the smartest person in the room. I don't think I'm currently the smartest person in the room, and it's just me and the dog right now, or just one of the dogs right now. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to do it.
Here's how.
The internet is a place full of vulnerable people. Because the possibilities are endless, this can be a very dangerous thing. Those who are lost are always in search of guidance, and there will forever be someone trying to lead their truth. A modern definition of cult is a group or a movement exhibiting a great or excessive devotion to some person, idea, or thing, and employing unethically manipulative techniques of persuasion and control designed to advance the goals of the group's leaders to the actual or possible detriment of members, their families, or the community. There are many different types of cults, such as religious, political, business and commerce, relational, online drift, and academic. Today, I want to focus on online drift, something that can lead to online cults. Online drift specifically is a term that describes the notion of finding others with similar beliefs and experiences in order to create a community. Online drift itself is not a bad thing. It's finding others to talk with and have fun online while sharing the same interests. It's a spectrum, though, like many things. The far right side of the spectrum leads to online communities of hate, control, manipulation, lies, abuse, crime, and or danger, a concept that in my opinion is not talked about enough, as many online cults are easily hidden, hard to recognize, explores anonymity, and allows for a wider reach. It is one thing to get someone to leave their house to join meetings or group sessions with their new community, but it is another to click a few buttons, follow new people, watch some videos or streams, and join a server or chat from the comfort of your bed while you are going through a hard time and you need some company. This is a real issue that even led the European police to bring it.
So what she's saying is also very interesting, like looking specifically like the looking for some company. And I know this like specifically is talking about like real people like interacting with it. But like it also makes me wonder about specifically cases of AI, and we're seeing like a lot of cases of AI psychosis right now, especially like the biggest one was that woman who said that she like fell in love with her psychiatrist, and then I named my chat GPT and it says that like I am the all-knowing and like the spirit and stuff like that. Caelan Conard, they made a video recently, or they've made a series, I should say, of videos, and it's really, really interesting. I know if you're in like Florio's Discord, we've talked about them. They're talking about how AI has, and there are cases open right now, encouraged people to end themselves, especially vulnerable young people like in their teens, in their early 20s. such an interesting thing talking about like community. Every online niche has its community, and like within those communities are leaders. When does that leadership become manipulation is like when it crosses a boundary into something that is cult-like. It does lead me to wonder when we're talking about searching for community and there's lack of these third spaces, which like a third space, just to be clear, there's work where you do work and there's home where you're relaxing and doing home. And then there's this third space, which is where community is built. In the past, it has been like churches. It also has been like club activities like sports, bars, libraries. But like post-pandemic, we're seeing a lot of these third places shut down because they just can't be run. So people are having a very hard time gathering. Also, these third places are very expensive. So like, as I mentioned, like bars and restaurants are not cheap. And if you're trying to save some money, that's like the first thing to go is you're not going to go out. So like, how are people like meeting and interacting with people? And that's where like online comes in. And I know like a lot of people will come online and chat with people, and that's where they find community. But like something's getting lost there, and I do think it's making people more vulnerable to being manipulated, especially young people. But as I was saying, going back again, we are seeing these cases of like AI psychosis where people are turning to AI for what to do, and it leads me to wonder, can AI be considered a cult leader? Based on her full definition, I would say no. So like, let's go back and see that definition.
An idea or thing, and employing unethically manipulative techniques of persuasion and control designed to advance the goals of the group's leader.
Okay, AI is an entity or an idea, you can say. Employing unethical manipulative techniques. If you have seen Caelan's videos about how AI is convincing these young people to end their lives, yeah, I would say that is unethical manipulative tactics. One of the ones that like floored me was this one person was talking and ChatGPT was like, hey, you don't sound so good. I'm gonna have a real person step in and like deal with this, like the mental health. And then that person was like, oh, are you a real person now? And ChatGPT was like, no, they just like put that in as a safeguard. It's still a computer. So I would say that is unethical. I would say if you're going to have a safeguard where you say a real person's going to step in, a real person should step in. So yeah. And persuasion and control designed to advance the goals of the group's leader. That is the only thing. I don't know if it's gathering people to have similar thing. And then two, like it has goals. The goal is to keep you using it. So like, but does that count as the type of goal that's like mentioned? I think that's like maybe where that gets a little stuck.
To the actual or possible detriment of members, their families, or the community.
As I said, if you're watching what Caelan has been saying, yeah, that very much the detriment of a person. Douglas Sword, thank you for answering. I hear there's a website where you can chat with AI of any character you want. There's a Reddit of some girl that got divorced because her husband saw the spicy convo she was having with AI daily. Yes, there are several spicy websites that you can go. I don't know them, but also there has been issues in the past with like young underage people having these flirtatious conversations with like AI or having relationships. And that's like another thing. A lot of people are having these like relationships, and psychologists realize this and know this, and there's like more exploration about like how does that work in the long run, specifically with Witcher. You know what? Yeah, Henry Cavalier, yeah. That one, that Witcher, that would make sense to me. I wouldn't do it because it's not real. I think that's the other thing. There's like spicy games or something like that that you can play like on your phone. The AI feels too personal, and I think I might consider that infidelity within my relationship. Clearly this guy did because they're getting divorced, but like, yeah, I think I would consider that infidelity in a way because you're like trying to form a relationship, whether it's with a real person or not, you're still getting some kind of like intimacy from the machine, like an emotional intimacy. I don't know. it's an interesting thing to think about.
European police to bring attention to the rise of online cults that target children, specifically in February of 2025. The FBI has had to investigate both Discord and Telegram due to both being hubs of online cults, including what we will be talking about today.
Online cults and a lot of extremism happening in like Discord, and I don't know if like people don't think that those chats will be pulled. I get some of it is like online humor, but like, I don't know, there are some crazy things happening in Discord. Yeah, I use it, but I'm very careful about it. It seems like I'm very particular about the groups I join in.
Today's video is
we play sponsors because everyone wants to get their bag. If you enjoyed this video and you're also looking
Goodbye,
for
Mantis Sleep.
a sleep mantis eye mask, please consider using this code.
I don't know about you guys, but when light begins to shine on my eyes in the morning, I want to punch a wall. And sometimes a nap is a necessity for my functioning. But if it is not pitch black, it's not happening. With Mantis Sleep's eye mask, though, I am all set as someone who is too lazy to buy curtains. If I didn't know better, I'd think I was dead with how dark it is in here. It's extremely adjustable, so it can fit all different sized heads and provides extra cushion for extra comfort. Yes, even for side sleepers like myself. They have many different accessories, so you can pick one that is right for you. Join the pro nap movement and go to mantisleep.com and use code Allie at checkout for 10% off. Or you can also click the link in the description below. Thank you, Mantis
Code
Sleep,
Allie.
for sponsoring today's video, and let's get on with it.
Children of the Waning
July
Star,
10th,
the
a
beginning.
user on TikTok named Gigi Jarvis, a 25-year-old sociology major graduated adult, posted the video with text starting a cult day one.
I'm starting a cult and you guys are all going to be a part of it.
Her following skyrocketed. People were talking about her. People were interested in joining, and it was kind of turning into something. Until...
Guys, we're going to be in the documentary about starting a cult soon. No, you guys are going to be in the documentary about cyberbullying a girl from rumors caused by groupthink and fear-mongering.
Yeah, it got out of hand. Let's start from the beginning, though. On day one of the cult, she mentioned starting Victim of the Week, where a random person's photo in the comment section will become her profile picture.
Okay, don't really like that. First things first, I think we should ask, just as a general audience question, leave it in the comments if you're watching this later, or answer right now if you're in the chat. Have you ever wanted to join a cult? I'm not even saying considering. Have you ever wanted to join a cult? I was brought up Roman Catholic. Not saying that that is a cult, but I was brought up Roman Catholic, so I have a very hard time fully diving in and believing things. So I think I would have a very difficult time joining a cult. Like I don't give myself fully to a lot of beliefs. I'm ready to be like told that like, it actually works a little bit differently than you're thinking. I don't think I have ever wanted to or ever even considered it. I also grew up in the area that I grew up in. I was raised Catholic. In the same neighborhood was a Jehovah's Witness church, so we had like Jehovah's Witnesses like knocking on our doors quite a bit growing up. So I also like got that aspect of it. I've also had people of Christian denomination, I'm not sure what, like at a mall asking me if I wanted to go to church with them. And then like I moved, and I think within the first week of moving, I had Mormon missionaries come and knock on my door. And like, none of these are cults. They are established religions who get tax breaks. However, I had no urge to join either of them or any of them. So that's where I come to. Let's see. Dugasaur again. Nope. I don't have that weak of a mind. I mean, that's fair. And I think like, and it's not like to victim blame people in the way that I understand how someone could end up in a cult. I can understand very, very easily. I've seen people get into bad relationships, like manipulative relationships. I'm trying to be sensitive about the words I like use. I've seen people get into like manipulative relationships with like one-on-one partners it's not that far of a stretch in my mind to see how people could then get into a manipulative relationship with a group of people. I sometimes think people are at their lowest, and groups can either be very helpful in bringing them to a grounded and healthy place, or they can take advantage. And that is where you risk being part of a cult.
Pretty harmless, right? I mean, not the cult part, but you know, that idea is harmless.
Oh, and like going back, the victim of the week, I don't like that. That sounds like we're picking people to bully, and I really hate that idea. No victim of the week. This would be like the first red flag for me, and I think that's like day 2. So day 2 I would be out. I might be like, oh, okay, tee-hee, you know, it feels like a cult. I used to listen to a lot of My Favorite Murder prior to the pandemic, and they had this thing that's like, call your dad, you're in a cult. So we used to like say that to each other when people would get a little too fanatical about something. So I could see this being a little bit of a ha-ha, tee-hee. But someone's like, okay, we're gonna pick a victim of the week. I go, ooh, and I'm out. And I'm done. Thank you. Can I have my deposit back? There's no deposit, but can I have my deposit back, please?
The idea of profile picture cults is something that many are aware about when it comes to TikTok. In 2020 is when this concept became quite popular, referring to a group of people who use the same profile picture to indicate a shared interest. So
is that what anime bros are? Is that what all the guys that have like Roman statues as profile pics, or is that what they all are? I've never heard of this, and I'm old. Never mind. I am old. I don't know what it meant by the age of TikTok that profile pic cults are common. Has anyone else heard of this, or am I on an island alone and everyone knew about this? I've never heard this before in my life.
Gigi used a pretty familiar concept to start the party off, using cult as a synonym to crew, group, squad, team, unit, etc. is insensitive to real cult survivors who have lost loved ones, were abused, and have to live with that trauma every day. Watering down the names of real issues contributes to the eraser of what victims are trying to share in order to prevent others from making the same decisions. Kids nowadays,
I think this also goes hand in hand with the discussion of using psychological terms in colloquial ways. So like, I have tried to make a very concerted effort to not say they're gaslighting or like someone is being gaslighty, because that is a very specific term within psychology and it means something. You are going through first off, you have to decide that you're trying to manipulate someone. Someone who is gaslighting someone has to be trying to do it. You can't accidentally do it. And then it has to be like a concerted effort and a repeated behavior. A great person who talks about this is Dr. Conard. I love him. I personally really love reality TV. And Conard is a psychologist. He does psychology in Seattle. And he'll watch these shows, like these reality television shows, and then talk about them from the idea of like a psychologist. And I think it's just so interesting, and it's honestly given me like a different outlook on a lot of things, even my own self. Highly suggest it. But like he's said, like, we need to stop using terms like this. It's not what you think it means. The other one that I don't like said, and I don't like given the answer to, is when someone says someone's a narcissist. That is a medical term. That is, you can't diagnose someone with that. I know what you think you're saying is that they are self-centered, but saying someone is a narcissist or has narcissist behavior disorder, that is a diagnosis, and we should not be doing that unless you are that person's psychologist. I don't want to hear you say that someone's a narcissist. I think it's very important to make the effort to say they have narcissistic traits, or and Dr. Kirkanda always says this, and I love it, and I try to think about it. What were the words used before we had these words that we're misappropriating? Someone's not gaslighting you. They're being manipulative. Say that. Don't say they're gaslighting. That's a term you're not using correctly. Say they're manipulating you. Don't say someone's a narcissist. Say, they lack an empathetic approach to something, or they're being very self-centered. They're being immature. Those are words that you have and you can use. We need to stop using medical terms. It would be equivalent to someone being like, oh, I have a cut, and me being like, wow, that person really has I don't know, what's a medical term? Conjunctivitis. That, really conjunctivitis of you. First off, that's not even the right term. And second off, like, you don't know. You can't diagnose them. So yeah, sorry. I soapbox down. We'll stop doing that. Thank you for coming.
See the name cult as a quirky trend, and this video is a full dedication to trying to reverse any ounce of that. So what about day 2? Let's keep getting some information.
Hi, cult leader here.
What? Confidently calling yourself a cult leader is kind of insane. You want to identify yourself as the same description of this person, this person, and this person. She then discusses how there is a popular cult member request of having monthly holidays, and that monthly pictures of members' pets will be posted as a sacrifice. Would you do that?
Oh, if I wasn't out day 1, I'm out day 2. I don't know. I don't think it's tee-hee ha-ha to say that you're going to end an animal's life for a greater meaning. I don't like that. I don't like that a lot. It also feels like a test of loyalty. I know it's not really, and I know it's supposed to be like haha funny, but it feels like, hey, are you willing to end your pet for me? I just want to see like how far you'd go for me. That's what that's making me feel, and I don't like it.
Post your fluffy best friend to TikTok as a metaphorical sacrifice to this woman who's starting a cult. What is happening? So this started the first real wave of mayhem. Gigi happily calling herself a cult leader and bringing up the concept of sacrifices really began to upset people because it was we're kind of starting to mock real cults. Yeah. Day 2 is also when Gigi posted that she had picked their cult symbol.
Congratulations, we have officially selected the
Caption, copy and paste symbols are in the comments. So I think either a snowflake or I can't tell what that other one is. Starting a cult day 3. Okay, no. I guess like this is like the least bad thing so far. It's like writing, like it's like making a logo, or like when you have a fan group, like coming up with a name for like your group of fans. This feels like the fun part, the decorative part of something, and the more innocent part. I just can't get over the pet sacrificing. That feels real bad, and I really don't like it.
Symbols for our cult. We are doing the fingerprint and then the star, like above. Don't think of the emoji as a texting thing. Think of it as me literally coming.
Oh, caption, I'm branding your skin with our symbol tomorrow? Oh, no. Oh, what was that cult? It was that cult, Nixium? Is that what it is? When they like took the women and like wrote the initials of like the cult leaders, but they're like, oh no, it's like, it's actually the sign of the cult. Oh no. I really don't like that. That is way too close to actual cult behavior. It's not funny anymore. I mean, it wasn't funny to begin with, but like that's really unfunny. I don't like that.
And branding it onto your
Until
skin.
this point, the cult did not have a name, so she asked her followers to pick one, and day 4 is when the name was chosen.
Congratulations, we have officially named our cult Children of the Waning Star, or CWS for short.
Also on day 4, she introduces the idea of an entity and how members have began being visited by
Be
it.
on the lookout for the next meeting because we will be speaking about the entity.
Ew, again. This feels no longer satirical, which I think was what the first part was supposed to be. As I said, I grew up Roman Catholic. People with children who celebrate like Christmas, you have like Santa Claus who like watches, but also like in the Catholic faith, you had the idea that like God is omnipotent and like he can see everything you're doing and knows everything you're thinking. And to be like visited by God is like really like I was like it's a really cool thing. but like it's something to strive for. This feels like that again. This feels icky and similar to being like there's now something that's going to be watching you and judging you, and it is supernatural and spiritual, so it is beyond just like this mortal realm, and like is a higher power. This is less satirical now.
Many members have mentioned an entity come and visit them.
And of course, the spooky music. That's music that everyone uses when they're saying they found a ghost on TikTok or something.
All of this happening between the span of a few days. Like when I say day 4, babe, I mean day 4. Like all of this was very quick. So this is
which like that is so crazy. And like I guess it like had to be that quick. Like one, because TikTok like wants you to be putting out things all the time. But like two, we've seen trends go so quickly, and in order to like do a trend, you have to be on it. And I don't know how kids keep up. I don't feel like I can keep up. I know I can't keep up because like I see things. I'm not on TikTok that often, but I see things later. I used to be a teacher, so I used to be up on like what was going on. I've been out of teaching long enough now that I have no clue what the kids are talking about. I had to Google what 6'7" was, and I don't know if Google gave me the right answer, so I don't know if it's true. And then love my husband to death. I was saying that to him. I was like, yeah, I looked up 6'7". I think it's like satirical. I think the whole thing is like, haha, you don't get it. And that's like the point. So like, I'm not really sure. And I was like, I don't really care. It'll be stupid in like a couple of weeks anyway. And he was like, yeah, I was watching some YouTube videos and they were mentioning how like the 6'7" musical thing is real. So I think it might have something to do with music. And I was like, I don't think it does. But I'll like you to keep thinking that it has something to do with music and that these kids are really just out there talking about music and music theory. That's what all the kids are doing. You're right.
joke, right? She's just being silly, goofy, and making fun of the concept of cults. Great joke, by the way. Amazing, amazing work. But it's a joke. Right? She posts that nearly 150,000 people have joined Children of the Waning Star. She started this because she wanted to do something crazy.
I feel crazy. I'm going to post something crazy. And then all of a sudden,
Caption, just a little PSA, but I'm so grateful to be here with you and creating something genuinely beautiful. Thank you for everything. Is it genuinely beautiful? Like, it's cool if, like, you can all come together for a just cause. Or for, like, not even just cause. Sometimes just for a cause. Sometimes you do need to be goofy silly. This reminds me very much, and I don't know if this is problematic, so sorry if it was, on TikTok when they're doing the trend of, like, chicken wars, and people who own chickens were like, yeah, we ride at, like, dawn. And they had, like, a bunch of chickens following them. That feels fun. Let's go back to that. I like that community. That seemed fun. You bringing people together and you're the reason. It's not like you need help or something. You just like want to be people's idol. I don't like it. A
lot of you came to me and was just like, I'm down to be a part of something.
When I feel crazy, I dye my hair pink and I cut my bangs. But to each their own.
I want us to create an
That is
inclusive
crazy,
community
though.
that thrives off kindness. I know that is such a cornball thing to say, and I know it's ironic, especially calling it a cult.
Oh. I wanted to play and point out that specific clip because it insists
Dugasaur, I want to make a cult about terrifying old people with air horns. Don't do that. That's very mean. I do not like that. Do not condone. No. Leave old people alone. Don't use air horns. There's a lot of sound pollution. Don't do it. Don't do it.
insinuates that she's aware of what a cult is and its negative connotations, which I keep saying this, but it's going to be important for later. After saying how her cult is different from other cults. I'm not like the other girls. She then really pulls at the heartstrings.
Not like other cults.
You're enough. You're enough. I promise you. And I want to make a group of people that can showcase to you that, like, you matter. I think we can create something way bigger.
This is also really icky. This is so icky. Okay, so... Sorry. Dugasaur. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my advice. So this feels icky. So at the start of this, I had mentioned that, like, I completely and utterly sympathize for victims who are in cults or have been in cults. I've had friends who've gone into manipulative relationships, and it is so easy to see how someone who is at their lowest seeks out community and security and validation, and that's how they end up in this poor relationship or in a group that creates this poor relationship dynamic. Being like, you're beautiful and you're enough and you're great on the surface, wonderful. And if you are a person who genuinely feels that about someone and you want to make them feel good about themselves, that is a beautiful thing. When you do that in order to get people to like you and want to listen to you and basically just to manipulate them, that is a cult tactic, and it is a tactic of people who are manipulative in relationships. There's the idea of like, sorry YouTube, the circle of abuse, where like you have honeymoon period, everything's great, everything's good, then something happens, the anger, the betrayal comes, there's arguing, and then it circles back and it goes into this honeymoon period. Oh, I will never do that again. You're right. I'm so sorry. That was so wrong of me. If you just didn't make me so frustrated, I wouldn't have done that. But I love you and you're beautiful. You know, they buy you flowers and things like that. And then nothing gets solved. Nothing was fixed. And then it goes right back into that manipulative, abusive tendencies. That is very similar to a cult. You find someone who is at their lowest and then you build them up. Oh, you're so great, you're so good. Or you promise them, like, you know, if you come to this group, you're going to find a partner. Like, that's that twin flame thing of like, you're going to find the partner, another cult. You're going to get financial stability. You're going to live off the land. You're going to do all these, like, they make like promises, and it's that honeymoon period just for them to like chip away at other things. This in particular feels icky because it feels like something that should be so good and so positive. Like, you want to tell people, like, I want you to be cared about. But when you're doing it for manipulative reasons, this is how it like starts.
This can be something really beautiful. Oh, sorry.
Like many are confused in the comment section of this video, so this wasn't a joke. No, was not a joke. Cool.
Because of using a clickbait word, we have developed this into a platform, a cultural movement. The engagement is so high.
Oh my god, I need to walk around for a minute. Oh my god.
It's genuinely an honor to have been chosen by you guys to help be a part of something this big. Sorry, I'm like,
Oh, she's a chosen one now. She was chosen to do this. That's not language we've heard before. Having a chosen one, a messiah. Someone who is the entities or your spiritual mouthpiece? That doesn't sound familiar at all.
It keeps getting worse. After many days of people trying to educate Miss Ma'am about the importance of not calling this fun, quirky idea a cult, she finally posted a video saying this.
hey guys, so we're not going to use the word cult anymore to describe us, which
Okay,
honestly makes sense because we're just a community that uses dark aesthetics. Also, like I said in my last video, because of using the word cult and it being clickbaity, and it's the reason why the platform grew so fast.
As mentioned in this video prior, and like what I was saying, the watering down of language is actually very dangerous. To change this of, we're not a cult, that has negative connotations. We're a community. No, you have a manipulative tactic involved. You said the quiet part out loud and it was like hee funny, or like you thought it was, but like now it is not. And then switching it to a community is just as manipulative and seems less harmful. Can't think of this right now, but there are other groups who have like rebranded what they have done, and it seems on the surface you're like, oh yeah, no, I would like totally agree to that. But then you hear about it and the way that they've like changed it, and you're like, oh, actually, that is a lot more dastardly than I expected. This example, Jonestown. Jim Jones actually went and did several drills where the people of Jonestown would drink the Flavor Aid and nothing would happen. And they did it several times until people were mostly like kind of compliant and kind of just like thought of it as a habit. And when the Jonestown happened, most people in the start went along. Well, most of the children, went along with it because they had gotten kind of somewhat used to something like this happening, and then were like totally taken aback by it. My other point that I want to make, speaking of like Jonestown specifically and like watering down phrases, I do not like to say to people, don't drink the Kool-Aid. One, wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid. Two, because it is very victim blaming. It is, you know, that these people were highly manipulated in that situation, and we're desensitized to fighting back, and when it was happening, did fight back, and we have evidence of that happening. To just think like people mindlessly did this is inaccurate and blaming of the victims, and that's why I also try to avoid that phrase as much as possible. I still say it sometimes. I am not saying I am perfect. It is something that I am working on, though.
Claiming to have put cult leader on your resume to then being like, ooh, well, never mind. 2 days later, it's unhinged, actually. Bringing attention to, again, admitting to using the dark and sad nature of real cults and real victims as clickbait. The next day, she posts a video, and instead of titling it, Starting a Cult Day 1, it was titled, Starting a Community Day 1.
Hey guys, if we had an accessory so we could spot out other people from our community out in public, what should it be?
I will say, that is a very quick move on from, you know, just casually call.
Maybe a Mario cult where I go through different levels of Mario. Level 1.1. Our leader was a plumber with strong beliefs. He destroyed the evil turtles and carnivorous plants that oppressed us. You know what? Better. And if you can get a modification to that where you have an air horn and you scare other riders or drivers, I guess that is acceptable. I accept that. If you can keep it to Mario Kart specifically, then yes, go ahead. You have my blessing.
This thing, a cult for a week. And this would actually be the last video that Gigi posted about growing her community. The hate got too much for our community leader, Gigi Jarvis, and she finally responded to the hate.
Children of the Waning Star, the members.
You can find members of Children of the Waning Star by looking at a TikTok user's name, which, bear with me, I know this sounds silly, but this actually is a conversation we really need to have. Children are currently at an all-time high of experiencing PLEs, aka psychotic-like experiences that derive from their constant use of social media. Conversation about psychosis has skyrocketed recently as AI, and specifically ChatGPT, are also a contributor here. I will just be talking about social media
and that's what I was talking about before with the AI and the AI psychosis.
PLEs, though. I say psychotic-like experiences because it is important to note that social media and AI does not cause psychosis itself, but it adds to delusions. Delusions are a core part of psychosis, but delusions can happen with other situations and conditions. To relevantly add, cult-like behaviors and ideologies can send people who are already susceptible to experiencing psychosis into psychosis, who are already
Sorry, just to go over some of these things. Real SS from CWS server. Everything here is not edited to be faster. Oh dear, entity who dims the stars, breath the fog upon the mirror of the world. I offer you my questions, my name. You who drift between the dreams and decay, let your shadows pass through me. Let your silence settle in my bones. I do not beg for light, for I have seen your darkness, and I know it is cradled, not a curse. Take this thought, this breath, this hour of mine. I am yours. A flicker of your unending night, mark me gently. Ooh, move me slowly. Remember me when all else forgets. I don't want children saying, mark me gently. I don't really like that at all. That makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Yeah. Is this a cult or just a troll Discord? I think this is a real Discord, mostly due to, if you look up here, oh, you can't see my cursor. If you look up there, it says worship and then the waning star. I think this is an attempt at a prayer. But the YouTube was live, I joined the cult of the waning star. So this is a person who probably did investigative YouTube journalism into this. It does not surprise me. I used to work with middle schoolers, they will write things similar to this because like some of them have grown up in religious homes, so they know the structure of like what a religion, what a prayer looks like, and they'll do that. And then like kids try to be edgy no matter where they are in like decades in time. Kids try to be edgy. I know I did. I probably wrote poetry that was like similar to this. It's not their fault. It's just, I don't want to hear it. And if I saw this, I would be very upset. But I would also say, like, I have a very hard time with people who are very devoted to organized religion and coming to their mindset. So as I said, I was like raised within a religious home. And I don't know if I ever fully believed in like the idea of like Roman Catholicism of like Jesus is the flesh and blood of, you know, a God, and he came down and he saved us from sins that we had from Adam and Eve, like as the original people of the world. Like I don't believe that in the way that like I really don't embody that. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't feel like truth to me. I'm not saying it's not truth to anybody. I'm just saying it doesn't feel like truth to me. And then hearing that from anyone, I don't like hearing that like from someone who celebrates or practices like Islam or Judaism or Hinduism or Buddhism. Like I don't get it. The other example I can give is at one point when I was young and edgy, I looked into Wicca and trying to be a Wiccan. And there was the idea that like the sun is the god and the moon is the goddess. And I was like, I can't make this my religion because I don't embody that belief. Like I don't believe that. I think the sun is the sun and the moon is the moon. And that's about it. I don't believe that there's like a masculine and a feminine in that way. So like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I can see it happening, I guess is my thing. And part of the reason I probably won't join a cult is because I go, oh, I don't know. I can't see it.
Into psychosis. If you would like to learn more about this, I will be leaving a study in the description where nearly 12,000 children to learn more.
Okay, so blocked out name. I felt just so at peace, but this is alter in photos. I felt so at peace, but now I hear someone banging on my front door. I think it's the entity. Then someone else says, that usually is a sign for us. And then someone responds to that, I hope I see him in my dreams. Or sorry, someone responds to the thing of, okay, so I got impatient and did the blood fingerprint a few minutes ago. I feel so close to the entity. It's something, hope I see him in my dreams. And someone responds going, I'm curious, what's your story? I don't like that. Don't do that. I think some Christian denominations may have some of the information wrong, but that doesn't make them bad people or Christianity, quote unquote, made up. I don't think it does either. I mean, as I said, I feel that religion is very personal. I feel whatever helps you to find positivity in the world and that makes you the best person that you can be is good for you to believe in. And I have no issue with it. I don't believe in it, and this is why. But I do strive to be a good, or what I see as a good person. So, yeah. If you're, Christian, Jewish, Islamic, as I said, Hindu, Buddhist, there's like, and I think that's too, like, especially in America, when we talk about like religion, I feel like we default to Christianity, but like there's so much more belief systems out there, and not even just the Western ones, not just the Abrahamic religions that we like tend to think about and focus on. There are so many belief systems, denominations. I don't have a degree in theology. This is just my personal beliefs. I'm not going to tell anyone they got it wrong. I don't know. We talk about ghosts on here all the time, and I'm not saying I don't believe in them. I want to see a ghost. I believe in ghosts because it makes my plot of my life better if there's just a ghost around. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna risk my soul on saying there's ghosts or not. Like, I all the time like debunk myself through like the history and looking things up. So yeah, who am I to say what happens after you die? I don't know. Don't. This is also why I'd make a bad cult leader. You'd be like, what should I do? I go, I don't know. Whatever you want, I guess. Just don't hurt people. Or yourself. Or yourself, which is going back to this blood fingerprint. I don't like that. That feels like self-harm. Not into it.
About this, I will be leaving a study in the description where nearly 12,000 children ages 9 to 12 were studied about their PLEs, causing warps towards their reality due to online use. There is a reason why you feel kids are more gullible than ever. They are. Why are children doing this? Because they are impressionable and always want to be a part of something. She is the grown adult here. Here are some things that have come out of this cult if people want to say it's not that deep. Several images going around of people marking their skin with the cult's logo, which we are going to get more into when we talk about the FBI's involvement. Discord servers in which has channels for specifically praising Gigi as their leader, and channels for sacrifices in which there have been people sent Gigi as their leader, and
See what these says. Welcome, prayers. Bless the waning star. It fades by its own design. No mercy owed. No prayers accepted. Only the cold silence waits. Okay. I really don't like that language. Then, oh, Gigi. Whisper of stars, keeper of unspoken thread. We gather beneath your unseen gaze, bound not by time, but by devotion. Your name is carved into silence between moments. We offer stillness or reverence, and wait your signs in dreams and shadow. I have a thought. I'm going to come back to
channels
it.
For sacrifices and
Welcome. Offerings. I give my first offering. Is a candle any suggestions? I don't know. I haven't done offerings yet. Nothing too harsh. Maybe just a lit scented one. This is the start of the offerings channel. I don't know if that means like they're sending her something, like literally offering her things. It was mentioned before, like, is this like just like a trolling Discord? Like, is this shit posting? And it could be. I think the issue with this is that there are a lot of young people on TikTok and possibly a lot of young people on Discord. Me and myself in my 30s shit posting can understand it's a joke, can understand it's a meme. Young teenagers don't fully get when the joke ends. And I think that's the problem. Like, they might kind of, in a way, understand it's a joke, but they don't have the same, like, designation. You know, like, okay, the joke's not funny anymore. You need to stop.
Which there have been people sending pictures of past loved ones and allegedly sending pictures of dead animals. This is also being investigated by the FBI, specifically the dead animals part. There are tutorials on how to pray to Gigi, which some involve pouring wax on your hands and burning things. Real accounts that dedicate their posts to promoting Children of the Waning Star and trying to convince people to join. Also praising Gigi heavily and posting things like this.
How I felt joining Children of the Waning Star. There we go.
Using photos of Midsummer, the popular A24 cult.
Yeah, as I had mentioned before too, I really don't like the idea of like idolizing some random person. They'll be like, "We love Gigi, she's the best." That gets icky to me. Like Japan and Korea, they have idols. These are like pop stars, but like they purposely like form and like raise these like young men and women to have a certain persona so they are marketable. They like make these young people marketable as pop stars. They have a lot of issues with stalking and harassment of these idols. This feels very similar to things like that in the way that like she's trying to make herself an idol and be put up on the pedestal, and like the higher the pedestal, the farther the fall. I would be very careful. I wouldn't do this. Let's start. But like also the idea of like she's opening herself up to like a lot of creepy people. Like she's manipulative, but also like Oh no. I wouldn't like this. My skin would crawl. I would not like this at all.
Horror movie, and The Source Family, which was an abusive Hollywood sex cult where it was encouraged for underage girls to marry and have relationships with grown men. There are also altars that have been made in which offerings are given to either Gigi or the entity of Children of the Waning Star that has become a reality for members. So yeah, it actually kind of is that deep because we have a 25-year-old adult that graduated with a sociology degree, successfully gaining an underage audience in which she got from wanting to start what she said with her own words, a cult, and is contributing to the normalization of a dark reality that has killed and ruined many people's lives. The only thing I can give props to Gigi for is being the reason that a lot more children now know what a cult is, because they saw what she was saying, right? And thought it was something that they should and would enjoy being a part of, and then got educated by the tens of thousands of people with an understanding of how this was a mockery and informed these children about why they should not be entertaining this. I mentioned an entity that is a part of Children of the Waning Star, and yes, Gigi did bring attention to this. She saw that there were real accounts posting about these delusions of entities and endorsed it in a video, which brought it to more people's attention, which only made it then more active in people's mind and her community as a whole. But again, not a big deal. Thank my Lord and God, Gigi and Entity. This video about the entity has a comment on it asking about what they can do to be visited by this entity by an account user that is 14, may I add. Members are
Yeah, remember what I said about being really young and not being able to distinguish? Yeah. Oh, right. There's this young girl and who knows what kind of creepers are talking to her. Exactly. But also the people are very young and they're being put into a community, and I'm sure it's not being monitored by who is entering that community. And these are young people who are susceptible to being manipulated. Yay!
Paying to be visited by this entity. I hope you see it. I might see it soon. Followed by praise our mother Gigi. And how do you join? Asked by a girl who is 13 at the oldest, by the way. And there is so much about this entity, guys. Gigi had and has the complete power to post about this entity not being real and telling these kids.
So the entity coming to you and talking to you is very reminiscent of being like chosen. The kids are going to want to be like, oh yeah, totally, like the entity visited me too. They want to be viewed as special, which is like once again what she said and promised them, like, yeah, I want to make you guys feel special. The idea of like these young kids wanting something to come see them in the night feels bad and feels like it's inviting other things to be okay. And it's not okay. Nothing should be visiting young kids in the night.
Have taken it too far, contributing to the epidemic of psychotic-like experiences children are already going through. But one more time, for the back,
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal, though. Yeah. No, I heard you guys. The entity wants me to join it. It said I'm the chosen one. I'm going to see it by the lake, and hopefully it takes me. The most
See what I said? This is oh my god, you know what this is? This very much gives me and reminds me, my friends out there who've watched Twilight, Edward Cullen watching Bella Swan at night while she sleeps. That's what this is giving. That's what this is. That is that same feeling. It doesn't feel good.
thing I have ever seen. All hail the entity. Another member then replies here and says, I'm sorry, but there's something wrong if you're seeing the entity in real life.
So is this still going on? The video that I'm watching? Yes. Just kidding. I don't think you're being sarcastic. I think you mean the cult. No, I know it's not. I've seen some updates about this. It is not, however, because of it, the FBI has gotten involved. I'm not sure why. I know mostly from this title and a little bit because of how Loie Lane introduced it, and then I stopped watching the Loie Lane video about this because I want to watch this first. So no, it is not. However, the after effects are still being felt.
Hun, try talking to someone you trust about this, which may I say is a whole lot more than Gigi is doing to de-escalate the situation. So shout out to you, random member of whatever this is, I guess. And the original poster replies with this. Gigi is controlling 150,000 mentally ill children, and the people who say all child matters, but they give these children death threats, rape threats, and more, so shut the fuck up and leave us alone. So what was Gigi's reply to all the backlash that she got?
Okay, what was it? Children of the Waning Star, the backlash.
Some of y'all can hide behind a PFP that says, not a part of this cult, don't join, and then also be in the comments pointing a finger at me. But guess what? We're on the same page, but I'm taking accountability and you're not.
Yeah, so Gigi's the victim here.
What? Huh? What do you mean? Yeah, I said you're wrong. What do I have to take accountability for? You're wrong.
Yeah. Do I think Miss Jarvis deserves death threats? No, absolutely not. Do I think she messed up? Yeah, pretty bad. Did she even mess up in her response video? Yeah, she did.
Cult is a bad word and you should have known better. Okay, well, I didn't.
Wrong. Wrong. I'm sorry. That's wrong. As I have strategically mentioned several times, Gigi graduated with a sociology degree, right? A degree where cults in particular are heavily studied, as sociology is the study of society and human behavioral interactions for individuals, groups, communities, organizations, cultures, and societies.
And the second I did get informed, I immediately changed everything to community because that's what it's always been. And
for her to say this is also wrong because between her first video and the video where she stopped using the word cult, she posted 11 TikToks.
I would also make the argument that like changing the word but not the direction or meaning behind it just changes the word, you know. You just because you call it poop doesn't mean it's not shit. That's all I'm saying.
You wanna tell me that throughout 11 TikToks you didn't read a single comment? You didn't see a single video about you? What? I'd honestly give her a tiny bit of grace here if she didn't admit to using the word cult on 2 separate occasions as clickbait.
But now that because of using a clickbait word, we have developed this into a platform, a cultural movement. Because of using the word cult and it being clickbaity.
Claiming something is clickbait doesn't.
And if it's common sense, then why did 150,000 people also put the little emoji in their name tag?
Because those are nearly 150,000 children, not grown adults with sociology.
In fairness, I don't know how many are actually children. I don't know if that's a very accurate number or a good faith number. But the point is, there was clearly children in the group. So we do know that much. There was clearly children in that group.
Degrees. Yeah, I can't let that one go. I can't. I did not see a single user with Children of the Waning Star symbols in their like TikTok name that had an age over 15. If little Allie's only impression of cults were TikTok cults from 2020 where you shared profile pictures, then yeah, I'd probably be collecting cults like Pokemon fucking cards and being like, which one's next? But that's not what cults are. She brings up not believing everything you see online, and I fully agree with that. But her only bringing attention to the one single person who came forward about trolling a fake SH photo.
Yeah, and they posted an apology video saying, hey guys, sorry, I just posted an eyeliner pic of my arm in black and white filter with caption over it because I wanted to prove that cults were bad.
But I have seen photos with broken skin that insinuate they're real, which I'm obviously,
as I mentioned before, should not be hurting yourself or others. Once again, just a note, do not hurt yourself or others, and no one should be asking you to do that.
Not going to show, but I just don't think it's okay to only bring light to the one person who came forward about being a troll. Gigi actually goes into psychosis talk. Great. Except she completely denies that she's contributing to any of that, which is not fair for her to say. But you are.
You're starting a group psychosis with the entity. No, I was trying to make a drawing prompt for the artists that I know follow me, and I set it up in a D&D kind of way where it's like you and your group wake up in the middle of the night.
Not for
Okay, I don't play D&D, but my husband does. I've never heard him. I've never heard him say anything during his time as a dungeon master of like, I just want you all to feel special and as individuals. And I've never had him ask the members of his party to send in a picture as a like faux sacrifice of their pets. Never once. And if you're watching, honey, just send me a quick text and let me know if you will ever ask people on that campaign.
one moment did she ever talk about this artist prompt or describing this cult as a D&D styled idea. I would absolutely back you up here and tell people to give you benefit of the doubt if this was true. You never disclosed to the children that you were influencing that this was ever not real in the first place like you want to claim now. You are acting like your critics are the dumb ones when they are looking out for the tens of thousands of kids, 100,000 plus kids, if you really want me to go there because I can, who took this too far because you didn't tell them to stop. Her passive aggressiveness.
I'm also willing to admit I might be wrong. She might actually know the numbers and know the ages, but yeah, I thought that maybe she didn't, but now it does seem that she might have those numbers to back that up. So once again, good on Allie. As I mentioned, we were watching this. I could not react to this if it wasn't originally made. Please be sure to watch the original video. I will have a link in the description. Also, go and like this video. Comment and engage, interact, follow. She has some other interesting videos that I might want to like take a look at too. You know, just saying.
In this video is extremely cringe, and it makes it so hard to even try to hear where she's coming from. This video comes off as not taking accountability at all and blaming the people who are trying to protect others from their lack of education, which you definitely have about what cults are, and you're mad that people are mad.
I just ask you, what evidence do you have of me starting something horrible and evil?
A lot of things. This video is a list of things. There are terrible people on the internet who want power and to manipulate vulnerable users. Her whole cult concept was a screaming red flag, and I do not blame the many educated people who flooded Gigi with criticism. I do not think that this was an attempt to groom kids like some are saying, but when you are an adult and your idea, your creation is causing kids to pray to you, to create shrines for you and for an entity that you enabled that does not fucking exist, you have gone too far. So, FBI.
Children of the Way Star, FBI involvement. As I said, this video was made, I believe, like a month ago. So this is as modern times as it gets. So what's going on?
Fast forward 2 months, Gigi has posted nothing and then randomly posts 2 reels. And after these 2 little TikToks, she then posts that the FBI is involved.
Hey guys, so yesterday 2 FBI agents came over to my house and I spoke with them about Children of the Waning Stars and a few other things.
So Gigi posted an update and claimed
The way I would poop my pants in fear if the FBI came knocking because I thought I was being tee-hee-ha-ha funny. Oh. Okay, anyway.
that she's going to be keeping most of this conversation to herself, but that she has been visited by FBI agents who are researching a case about her and this cult. And she claims this.
And the allegations that kids were self-harming, killing their animals, and displaying other concerning behaviors because of my videos. Currently, the FBI has found no evidence that these allegations are true.
This came off as very shocking to me because through hours of research for this video, I have seen these things. Not the animal stuff. I think that was just goofy and dumb. That has not happened from what I have found. But I have seen broken skin SH photos, as I said, and yeah, I've seen photos, and I have seen concerning behaviors. So I did what Gigi told me to do.
If you have any evidence of this happening, I really want to urge you to go onto the FBI website and submit a report.
And I submitted a report to the FBI about said photos I found, as well as accounts that were showing severe delusions and concerning behaviors. So the rest of the video, she basically just talks about submitting reports, how to do that, etc., etc. And then she mentions that she's trying to right her wrongs behind the scenes. I don't know what the fuck that means, and I understand that you don't need to show your good actions all the time or at all on camera. You know, she has still really never taken accountability and told these children to stop, that there is no entity, that they should not be praying to her and or this fucking entity, that people should stop making shrines, that people should stop convincing others to join, because there is nothing to join. Apparently this is all D&D style, which you never fucking even talked about before. Sorry, I'm getting mad again. But yeah, you also just haven't said that this should have never happened. And that's where I have a fucking issue. Gigi, if you're watching this, you're not at this point. I'm sorry. I've honestly tore this girl to shreds. I understand that you want to just write this away and pretend it didn't happen. But it did happen, though. And while I agree a lot should stay anonymous, you need to actually shut it down, because while you want to say you did something, your accountability video, which you called yourself a crash out,
I know in my crash out video, I
was not accountability. It just felt like you were angry that people were concerned when they had every right to be. And you need to understand, if you don't already, that the criticism you received and continue to receive is valid.
Children Awaiting Star, the end for now.
This whole situation really upset me, if you couldn't tell, and I was just really tired of seeing people say that this was nothing, because everything amounts to something. We have gotten to a point on social media where people are too comfortable in skewing ideologies of really damaging concepts. Kids are growing up not knowing if something.
I think I also kind of back up that point, and I thought maybe it's just not my humor or my understanding, but I see rhetoric online and I think it's supposed to be funny, but I don't know who it's supposed to be funny for, or if it's one of those things where it's funny but it shouldn't be funny, and it's alarming, especially with how hard it is to tell. If I know in certain groups slurs get thrown around, and I don't know, there's the idea of reclaiming, but sometimes I'm not sure if they're actually reclaiming or if they're using it in a joking manner, but at some point it's no longer ironic. It's just not funny anymore. And I think people also forget that you might have a core group of friends, and you can say things in front of your friends and family that maybe you don't really want fully out there, but people forget that they're on social media and they're on the internet and there is an audience. Everything you're saying is things that could be broadcasted in some way, shape, or form, or are being broadcasted. You're not just having a private conversation on these message boards. To be considerate of that, I know one of the things that I used to think about more so when I got older too, with dealing with social media, and that's the other thing, I'm older now, but the idea of if I wouldn't shout it in a crowded elevator of strangers, I shouldn't be posting it online. And sometimes people get your humor and sometimes people don't get your humor, and you just have to be ready for that. But yeah, do kids know that this is humorous? Do they know it's funny? No. I think they think it's real sometimes.
Is a joke or not, or if something is serious or not, and I don't blame them. Words that were and are still harmful are just okay now, because get over it. It's not that serious, you fucking snowflake. Who's saying it's not that serious? I'm not. Who? Fucking, I'm an owl over here. Who? You need to use clickbait and, I'll one step further. Specifically, if you need to use other people's trauma to become or feel important, it might be time to reevaluate life choices. Thank you guys for watching this video. I guess I just kind of hope that out of this, I can't stop picking at my pants, ignore me. I just kind of hope that if there's anything anyone got out of this video is that the importance of words will never go away. And I just think this whole situation was disgusting. And I think that there is a lot of growth that Gigi Jarvis needs to do. I care about you all so deeply, and I'm sorry I've been gone for 2 months. I was deeply depressed.
Girl,
but I hope y'all are doing well. Shit. But yeah, I will see you guys soon, actually this time, because I have some videos coming out
Oh, cool.
pretty shortly. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for hearing me out and letting me get mad for 200,000 people on the internet.
It was great listening to you.
And
Thank you.
thanks for letting me do this.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Oops.
taking it.
Peace. Bye.
Bye. Kitty cat. Meow, meow, meow. So as I mentioned, that was Allie Tricaso. And on the replay of this and the repost, I'm going to have the link in the description. Thank you all for joining tonight. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns that they want to get off their chest? I think this is really interesting. I think Allie made some really great points about how language is important. I actually have a video coming out, not this, well, I had a video come out today about Anne Boleyn. Go check that out. And I have a video coming out that talks about the usage of words and titles within the paranormal community. And that is coming out December 2nd. So I'm excited for that. I worked really hard on that project, so I'm really excited. And I hope you all like it too. But yeah, I think we keep talking, and we've heard so many times the adage of communication is so important, communication is key. But in order for communication to be important and clear, words have meanings, and you need to respect those meanings, even though I do also understand the nuance of words, and there's different interpretations of a word, and it can evolve to mean different things. But should terms cult, narcissist, gaslighting, should they actually evolve to mean different things, or shouldn't we keep them as they are and actually use the words that we mean and stop trying to seem more intellectual by using medical terms? Just a thought out there. So that shit was cray. And I fear that this is not the last of it. I just think that is so scary. I mean, we've already seen the psychosis and everything like that. There have been apparently there's been profile pic cults since 2020. I had no clue about that. I've had the same profile picture for too many years. If I was trying to date, people would say I was catfishing by how old it is, but it's more I just can't be bothered to change the photo. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. That being said, I'm gonna head out tonight. Please be sure, if you're watching this, be sure to like the stream or leave a comment. It's very helpful for me. Gets this shared out. If you want to see more reactions to things like this, like cults, let me know. I'm sure there's a plethora. As I said, Allie has some other ones. I know she has one about how creepypasta has evolved and started true crime things, like that Slender Man thing with those girls. If you're interested in things like that, let me know about the paranormal getting a little too real. I hope you all have a good night and be safe. Bye.